Happy Monday. Happy Monday. How you guys doing? This is my first time going live on YouTube. If you guys want to stick around, everybody on Instagram, thank you guys so much. A few things I want to go by. Oh, one thing, everyone who came out to Fillmore, about a dozen of you, a dozen people came out to I had a show in Fillmore, California, 300-seat theater. Sounds a lot cooler when you say it like that and you don't say 30 people showed up to a 300-seat theater. Dude, parking tickets. Let's start with that. Let's start with my morning. That's how I started this morning, okay? I started my morning waking up to a parking ticket that I on the one part of the block where there's no there's no parking. The one part of the block. Every other side, hey, you're good at 8. If you move at 8, you're good. The one part I parked on, I got lucky that they didn't tow me. That's one thing. When you live in LA, you're just happy you don't get towed. It's $100 parking ticket. If anybody wants to Venmo me, and I'll send you pictures of feet or whatever you want. It's $100. Like, Jesus. Like, and the worst part about it, like, I parked 30 minutes longer than I probably should have. Okay, sad day. $100 does not, like $100 for 30 minutes. That it does not equate, because there was some guy living there. Like, it hurts my soul when I go to a place and there's a guy living next to where I'm not supposed to be parking. Like, that's not fair. Why does he get to live there for free 99 and I can't park there for like 10 minutes? Dude, I can't park there for like an extra 25 minutes. Meanwhile, this dude is living in a tent next to where I can't park, where I pay for that street. My taxes do, at least someone's taxes do, pay for that street for cars. That's a street for cars, not for you to live on. And this is why, like, I'm all for like housing. I'm all for housing of the houseless. Give them a free house. Give them free money. And people hate that idea. Like, why are we going to give them free money? Because they can't have a job. They can't. They've proven it. Like, they've proven, hey, you should go to work. And then they're at work over there, like, oh, did you hear the birds are chirping secret messages from Russia? And you have to be like, dude, I have to pack this Amazon box. Why are you telling me about these birds destroying our secret messages from Russia? Like, that. Don't give that guy, like, just give that guy money. Don't try and give him responsibilities. Meanwhile, I gotta park on the street that has like 60 minutes of free parking, maybe. And I go a little off from my parking, and guess what happens? I get $100 ticket. This guy is living next to where I get $100 ticket for free. He lives there in a tent, and I'm just gonna start putting my car in a tent. It seems like if you put anything in a tent in LA, no one's going to move it. No one's going to ticket it. You can be there for days. Just put your car in a tent and they can't touch you. That's the loophole. That's the loophole and all. Ooh, what's going to happen? You're going to actually move things along. Oh, it's so hard. When it's $100 ticket. Like, I already got another ticket. I got a ticket a few weeks ago because I parked in a handicap zone at the dog park after like 5 p.m. I didn't think handicapped people were going to come to the dog park after 5 p.m. My bad. Insensitive. Yes. I didn't think it was going to happen, though. And they didn't. Like, one old couple showed up who had an expired handicap tab. Like, they showed and they parked next to me. Then the park ranger, which is a title that they don't deserve. If you're a park ranger at a community park, you don't deserve that. You don't get why. That sounds important. That sounds like something that, I'm going to go prevent forest fires. No, this guy was just unlocking and locking the dog park. That's all he was doing. He gave me a ticket, and I'm understanding. I'm understanding that I got my ticket because I deserve it. I got it because I deserve it's a minimum $250 ticket. Minimum $250 ticket. I didn't think they were going to go above that. I was mad. I was like, straight anger boiling through this vein. I was mad, but I knew I shouldn't have parked there. I knew I shouldn't have parked in the handicap when I'm not handicapped with the blue pass. I knew I shouldn't have. But I was still mad. He gave me a ticket. I was still like, bro, come on. I'm right here. Don't give me the ticket. I hate it when I show up there. I hate it when I show up to the guy who has the ticket, right? And he's like putting it on my, I'm like, hey, can you cancel the ticket? And they're always like, nah, nothing I can do. Hola. I hope you're doing good in Texas. They're always like, oh, nothing I can do. I'm like, what do you mean? Oh, I hate you so much. He gave me a $350 ticket. It's $350. That's $100 extra. Minimum $250. After I begged and I pleaded, hey, please don't give me a ticket. I open it up. I find out it's $330 extra. Are you serious? That's like at least $80 on top of the $250 minimum that he didn't have to give me. At least. And I got sad. I felt like an idiot because I parked in the I parked there without any, I didn't have the proper, I felt like an idiot. I take my lickings. When I know I'm wrong, I take it. Because I grew up with a good dad who disciplined me properly. He didn't like beat me. That's the difference. Good discipline teaches you to take responsibility. When you get beat, you hide a lot of stuff. That was between me and my friends. My friends, they didn't get good discipline. They're always like, hey, let's not tell anybody about this. But, oh my goodness. There was a car next to my car. Old couple. Old. Like this is dirt driving a Ford. Like that Ford One. Old couple. The wife was in the car. The wife was old. You can tell by her. Like she didn't have to roll down the window. Like with the window rolled up, it was like, oh man, you definitely need this. You need this. This is for you. This handicap parking space is for you. I felt bad when I saw them because I was like, oh, you could have parked a little closer. And it was my fault because I couldn't find parking. I wanted my dog to be at the park. The guy gave them they gave him a ticket too. He gave them a ticket. These old people, an old couple. It looks like Jack. It looked like the old couple from Titanic. If they didn't go down with the ship, they looked like that. They were just sitting in their truck. They want to go get their grandkid or something. And like the guy gave them a ticket. And I was like, yo, man, why are you giving them a ticket too? And they're old. Leave them alone. They're old. And he was like, wow, their parking pass is expired. And I was like, you can't do that. They're old. They don't deserve they don't need a parking pass. They don't need, if they're old, let old people park wherever they want. If they're obviously if they're obviously old like that, why do they even need a parking pass? If you see someone get out of the car and it's not like a hearse, and you expect them to get out of a hearse before they get out of a Ford, let them park wherever they want. This I knew that guy was evil. That parking attendant gave us both tickets. I was like, I deserve it. Deservingly, I deserve this ticket. I don't deserve the $330 ticket. I deserve the $250 bare minimum ticket. That's what I deserve because I deserve I believe proper punishment is needed in life. When you do something wrong, plus, what's the point in doing something wrong if you're not like avoiding punishment? What's the point? What's the point of getting away with anything if there's nothing to get away with? That's why I'm like, oh, let me park in this handicap parking spot. Oh, let's gamble. Let's gamble on this. I lost that gamble. I lost it. Those old people, they didn't need a gamble. Those old people were just being old in there. I felt bad about that. And now I got another ticket. Like, I got so many tickets. I just have to go to court now. Like, I have to write letters to judges. That's how many parking tickets I got, telling them, hey, man, some guy was living next to where I was parked. Okay, I don't think it's fair that I get a ticket for this. Some guy had a tent next to my car. He didn't get a parking ticket. He parked his whole life right there. All he did was sleep in. You could have like told me something. Oh man. Oh, you know how hard that is to wake up to negative money in your account on Mondays? Dude. Oh yeah, George Perez stories tonight, 10 p.m. It might be a little earlier. It might be 9 p.m. Yo, stick around. We got a very special guest tonight. It's going to be a fun George Perez stories tonight, 10 p.m., 9 p.m. maybe. We have to figure that out. It's a special live, so you want to keep up with that. Oh yeah, dude! Everybody that came out, like I've had some people from the George Perez stories come out to my live show in Fillmore this weekend. I was headlining. I did 45, 50 minutes live stand-up comedy / heckling. Like I had to deal with a heckler. And there wasn't like it was a 300-seat theater, which sounds cool. It sounds cool. I headlined a 300-seat theater. Acoustics, beautiful. There was a little band before it. There was a little band before my headlining show. I want to say that first part because the second part makes it sound so much less cool. I headlined a 300-seat theater, only sold 30 tickets. Which sounds bad, but I have no real credits. All my credits are just, hey, I'm Johnny Roque. Come watch it. That's all my credits. Okay, I sold 30 tickets. That's a good payday for me. Sold out? Hell no, man. I had so many tickets left. I was like, oh. And you know what pissed me? Oh, the thing that got me most upset was I get there early. I'm like, hey, man, do we have a green room? I've never been to this venue. I found this thing off Craigslist. I was like, hey, man, do we have a green room? Nah, no, we don't. We have a basement. I was like, I don't want that. I was like, okay, cool. Well, where's the band? The band's at the bar across the street. I go across the street. I talk to the bar. I talk to people at the bar. And I was like, hey, you guys know we have a comedy show, right? You should go over there. Nobody knows about the show. It's a town of maybe 3,000 people. It's a small town. And nobody knows about. I'm like, how do you guys not know about the show? I've been promoting it for a few weeks now. The venue should have been promoting. The band should have been promoting. No one knows about the show. Ooh, it's so like it's a little irking to be like, oh, am I the only one promoting it? But it was what it was. 30 people showed up. 30 people in a bar. Fun show. Great show. 30 people spread out in a theater of 300 people. Still okay. Still a decent show. It wasn't terrible. 30 people plus one heckler that wouldn't let me get on with my jokes. That was a fight uphill. That was a fight uphill. I had one lady, hardcore MAGA, hardcore, make America great again. Like hard. She was bragging about how much oil money she was getting. That's how hardcore MAGA she was. She had oil money. And she had she was just talking about a lot because right now in Ventura, right where I was performing, they were doing ice raids. And there was, I think Angel should come back on the show. Sorry. There was ice raids, and it's been kind of like a very sensitive topic where people were like getting picked up like crazy. Hey, how are you doing? Like people were getting picked up like crazy. And this lady was, she was 6 beers in by the time I got on stage. By the time I got on stage, this lady kept talking about all her grandchildren. She kept talking about like, oh yeah, I got 2 daughters, but then my 2 daughters got 4 grandchildren, and my 4 grandchildren have 8 great-great-grandchildren just on top of that. And then she kept saying stuff like, and heckling me to the point where like, because I'm very pro open borders. I'm very much open borders. I've seen people be here without papers. I've seen people live long, very productive, very fruitful lives in the United States just because the immigration reform that we're supposed to be having doesn't ever get progress through. Like for the last 30 years, it's been the Democrats consistently saying we're going to have, they don't even print extra paperwork. And then the Republicans just went, well, we're going to make the border big. They don't even do anything and it's just gotten to the point when I'm like, well, no, all those problems that you hear people talk about like, well, they don't pay taxes and they don't do this and they don't do that. Same things you hear about the ultra wealthy. And like, you know what? They get to stay. So I'm all for open borders. This lady up in front, not at all. No, this lady up in front was just like, we need to send them all back. Oh, and I was like, hey, lady, no, I'm actually for people because I've known a lot of people who've been here without papers. They've been great members of the community, served in the military. They ended up getting married, ended up having like great houses, like great businesses, and nothing was getting through to this woman who was just shouting at, I have a joke about like, hey, what should we be called? Latino, Hispanic, Latinx. And I do go through this thing where I think like we should be called Americans. And I was doing this bit and this lady wouldn't let me finish. She wouldn't let me get through. She would, all right, guys, blah, blah, here's the setup. Nothing. Hey, you know what they call us? And then she was just like, and I was like, well, what lady? What do you think you should call us, huh? What do you think you should call us? And immediately, no hesitation, she was like, she call you illegals. I was like, oh. And when she said that, I got really upset. When she said that, I was like, you're gonna call us illegal? Like, it's very upsetting as a Mexican American who my culturally I'm Mexican, very culturally Mexican American. My grandpa from Texas, my grandpa's from Texas, my grandpa's from Texas, my dad's from East LA, like very much. So like when she was just like, we should call you illegals, I was like, nah, no, we shouldn't, because we're all like, I have indigenous blood from this land. My grandparents, my great grandparents, people that I have known for generations. I have generational blood in this ground. Nah, I'm good. It took me years. It took me years to like find my identity of like who I am in like the American culture, American like identity of who I am. And it just took me years. One day in my like when I was in my mid to late 20s, I was like, wait a minute. If I'm Mexican American and half of the people that were here were indigenous and the other half were Spanish, then that means I'm indigenous because, wait a minute, I'm from here? No matter what way you cut it, I'm from here? No matter how many generations you want to go back, I am still from here? It's insane. It's insane to me because Europeans, I love Europeans that like really embrace their European cultures. I love it. I love an Irish dude who's hardcore Irish. I love an Italian dude who has an Italian flag in his dorm room in college. I love I love Swedish chicks who know about like Swedish lore. Love it. I love it. It's when Europeans go to default white. I'm like, what? That's not a culture. That's not a culture. Oh, I'm white. I'm like, no, that's like that's a melatonin thing. That's not like really a culture. I'm glad you identify as that. But like, where did your great grandparents come from? And a lot of times it's like Danish. A lot of times it's it's like sometimes like Western Europe, somewhere in Western Europe that like they got kicked out of, which is tough. Like the Pilgrims, like the first Europeans to come here and like settle and to make like a settlement. They were the rejected section of they weren't the coolest. They weren't the coolest ones coming out of Europe. They didn't send their coolest bunch here. They sent like the Puritans who were so religious that even for Europe, they're like, nah, why don't you go do that religious stuff over there? Yeah, why don't you be religious over in that area with all that over there somewhere? Then they came here, and America, the land of the people who couldn't be stood over in Europe because they were preaching too much. That's insane. Like, that's why when you meet people who like great grandparents showed up on the Mayflower or showed up on Pride Rock, I don't know, whatever place they showed up over there in like New England, it's always like, yeah, my family, they came on the Mayflower. And you're like, awesome. What did they do before that? Annoy people. They annoyed people with their religion. It's so tough. Hey, what's up, Don? How you doing, man? Dan. I was talking. I've been doing a lot of writing. I got to write new material. Johnny Roque's joke book. Got to write new. So I'm doing. If you need like a little tip on how to write comedy, wake up in the morning, write for 30 minutes, wait a few hours, write for another 30 minutes. Easy comedy tip. You're not going to really get a lot, but like you got to pick. You got to pick and choose what you need from like your journal. If you're really wanting to like figure out how to be a good joke writer, it takes a lot. It takes a lot of like just, okay, what can I choose? What can I pick? What do I need? Like I wrote this today. most of this is not going to be used. This is going to be one, maybe two words, maybe like 4 words of a joke is going to be out of this. Like not all of it is even going to be remembered. But there's like parts of it when I'm like, okay, cool. I needed to write that out. I needed to get this thing done, because if I just sit in writing maybe one joke at a time, and I really try to sit in it and be like, well, where's the funny in this joke? You're not gonna find it. You'll find a chuckle. You'll find like a little bit of this is humorous. But if you really want to get like a good punchline down, you gotta write a ton. Like even when you do get a good punchline, there's always a better punchline you can write. There's always a better punchline that you can find by just exploring like the topic. And if you explore the topic in different formats and this is just for you, bro. Torta Finder, this is just for you right now, all right? It's not so much necessary that it will evolve on stage. If you're depending on the joke to be explored and to find its legs on stage, it's kind of doing a disservice to the audience. Like you're bringing the audience into what you should have done prior. Like if you're cooking and you're like, don't worry, I'm gonna figure out the secret ingredient while I'm cooking. It's like, that's not how that works. You don't do that. What you do, you sit down with your topic, you write down 4 to 6 different angles that you can hit that topic on. And guess what? Sometimes it sucks. Sometimes it sucks. Sometimes you wait an entire hour, you waste your entire day, and you're like, well, I guess there's nothing funny about styrofoam. What's up, Manny to the max? Dude, here's also a little tip. Go live twice. If you can, if you like, right now I'm live on YouTube and I'm live on Instagram. Why? Because with this algorithm thing, the more the computer, the more the program, the more whatever you're using clocks you going onto these, like onto it as a service, the more it's going to throw your stuff out to people. The more your videos, the more whatever thing you're going to have to show, the more like posts you have, it's going to be sent out to people. And do it for 30 minutes. Do it for about 30 minutes. If you can, you have to do it longer than 7, I believe. 5 might work, but honestly, if you do it for about 30 minutes, just have a few topics, go from, dude, like just, and you don't even got to keep them live. You don't. All you got to do, go live. The computer feels that you're going live. The computer likes it. It tells all the other friends that are on the computer, hey, guess who's going live? And then when you post stuff, it's more likely to repost your stuff to those people. Like, honestly, I do, like, if I run out of something to talk about, I got news stories that I'm going to talk about, but I've been on live right now for about 23 minutes. I'm going to go through the news, top 10 news stories. If you really need help finding out how to, like, I don't have anything to talk about, I encourage everyone to use AI. I do $40 consulting right now. If you want a consulting on your either social media growth, or if you want consulting on things that I've learned on how to either grow as a content producer or grow like some type of like presence you have online, hit me up. $40 for 40 minutes. I just hit 40,000 followers. It's been a lot. It's been a lot of work. It's not like as simple as people want to say. It sounds a lot easier than you want to hear. But I've honestly shared my tips with some people, and I've really seen them do great. And they were my friends. They're my friends. One of the reasons why I'm charging $40, one of the reasons, it's $20, guys, $220. Secondly, anytime I told this information to people for free, they didn't use it. They wanted to know. They wanted to know how I did it, and they wanted an easy answer. They wanted the answer of like, well, if you just log in and you do it between this time and that time, it's not that easy of an answer. And then when I actually gave them the full results on, hey, this is how you're going to see growth in your like social media. This is how you're going to see growth in this, how you produce content that doesn't overwhelm yourself or others that are watching. Like anytime I told people that, they were like, oh, thanks for all that, blah, blah, blah. Nothing. I would see them do nothing with that information that took me months to like take in, years to take in, just through like different like marketing jobs that I've had, just through different like college classes that I've taken. Anytime I shared this with nothing. So now give me $40. I'll show you what I do, and I'll show you how to like how to curate to yourself, how to curate it to make your own businesses or your own like social media presence grow. Because again, once you tell people the actual what it takes, unless they're really invested in it, you're just wasting your breath. It was like when I lost a lot of weight. I lost like maybe 70 pounds, maybe about 7 years ago. I lost about 70 pounds. I tell everybody exactly how I did it. I tell everybody my diet, my workout plan. I would tell everybody exactly how I went from 230 pounds down to 150 pounds. Muscle. I was healthy. I would tell everybody how I did it. And nobody copied the sauce. Nobody copied the results, because it takes time, it takes effort, it takes dedication. And if you're not willing to put it in, you're not going to do it. Dude, it's like everybody, like I said, hey, Third Finder, if you would have showed up, I would have gave you some time. It wouldn't have been in front of a sold out crowd. But if you would have showed up, I would have gave you some time. I told you, I was like, man, show up. I'll give you some time. Yeah, Dino told me I like your stuff, but try to be funnier in your dude. The thing is, like, just try, like, yeah, try your best. Do what you can. Look at your insights. Look at like all the little things. Again, use AI. Use AI to figure out how to do what you need faster. Best example I can give on how to use AI. If you haven't seen Iron Man, watch Iron Man. Tony Stark has mastered how to properly use AI. One, he's using his brain. Two, he's using AI to do the research for him as fast as possible to implement it back into his brain and his ideas. That's pretty much what you got to use. If you got to admit your own faults, and you got to admit where you need help, and you got to admit like, okay, I'm probably not the best at like doing search engine optimization keyword research. It takes a long time. It takes a long time to figure out which keywords are being optimized the best. What should I do? Oh, use AI, but not all AIs are the same. Which ones do you believe? I like using DeepSync. Sometimes I use ChatGPT, but which ones do you use? If you use AI, which ones do you prefer? Just let me know. That's something that would help me out. But use AI in the sense that you can have an extra arm. You can have an extra person doing the research for you real quick. And add one or like, you really, if you're not used to using AI, you really have to figure out your prompts. You have to figure out how to question it and how to read the information it's giving you. And again, I tell you all this for $40 to $20. That's all. That's better than Netflix deals. Sharing with your family. Dortha Finder, what do you think I'm doing? You think I'm over here selling lollipops? Nah, dog, I got $40 pops, 40 for 40. I'll show you exactly what you need to do on how to grow your following. Well, results do vary because it's like a diet. It's how much you're going to put into it. If you're not willing to put in the work, your results aren't willing to come out. That's just how hard life is. Like everyone knows, like as soon as you put in the work, it takes a month or two to see any actual results. That's why when people go on diets and exercises, they quit, because it's just like, I don't look like I thought I was going to look in my head. And the hardest part is when you're on a diet and an exercise to go past that second month. When you go past that second month of a diet and exercise, that's when your brain finally gives in. Like, oh, you know what? I can actually do this. I'm not missing food that I don't eat. I'm not missing time that I spent on the couch anymore. But most importantly, after that second month, that's when you start to see the results. That's when you're just like, oh, what the hell? I have shoulders? Oh, that you start to get bashful with yourself after, wait, when did my dimple come? Oh, it takes over 2 months of working out and dieting to get those results. Like for some reason, for me, I don't know about your body, but for me, halfway through, like the second month, my body it inflates. It looks like I'm retaining water. It's just week 6 is the worst week of my diet and exercise level. Week 6, because it's just like, why am I so puffy? I don't know. But by as soon as like week 9, week 8 comes around, I'm just like, oh yeah, I got obliques again. I got obliques. And if you've never had obliques, it's just wonderful. It's just one of those, like, I don't know. I've been lucky to have good genetics. All right. After puberty hit me, bam, my genetics skyrocketed. Oh my God, I was lucky. I was so lucky to have good genetics. Just because I had obliques at one time. Having obliques will give you confidence for the rest of your life. It's one of those things. It's just like anytime you go up to a problem and you're like, man, can I do it? Ugh. Oh, wait, I got obliques. I can do it. Obliques look like they're the coolest muscle. I think so. They're that like Rocky IV, definitely on steroids muscles. All right, before I just want to run through some. Hey guys, thank you so much for watching. Thank you for being here for my podcast. I'm doing about 30-minute podcasts a week, then I will release them somehow. They're going to be on YouTube for sure. If you're not subscribed to my YouTube channel, please go subscribe to my YouTube channel. It's pretty much everything that I've had on my Instagram channel for the last few days, for the last few months, just putting it onto those channels. And the best part about that, bam, same techniques that I used for Instagram, I'm throwing it on YouTube, TikTok. They're working. They're working. Yeah, I'm seeing a lot of growth as in viewer timeship, and I'm seeing a lot of growth as in retention of like subscribers. So just giving an update on that. Here's some news roundup. Last thing. Oh, Bitcoin surges past $90,000. Meaning if you didn't invest in Bitcoin, hey, Giovanna, how you doing? Yo, oh man, I hope you're doing great. My friends told me that they saw you at your job the other day, and they were like, hey, I saw your friend, and I was like, dude, for reals. I got so excited. Dude, I'm glad you enjoy these videos, man. It's just, if I just put in like the time and effort, it's a lot of like neglect of everything and everyone else, but it's just like, oh my God. This is the closest experience that I can explain to it. I accidentally joined a water polo in college. I accidentally joined water polo in college. I thought it was water volleyball. Because I'm an idiot. And when I joined, what happened was not water volleyball. Water polo is pretty much water football where they can drown you. That's what water polo is. No idea. The final test was you had to swim with a weight. Like you had to go dive, grab a weight, swim all the way up, and then swim across the pool holding that weight. And the entire time, because I'm a psychopath, I guess, or my brain doesn't know when to quit, I was just like, okay, just don't drown. Because I almost drowned when I was a kid. It's kind of a fear of mine. I get over my fears by, facing them and experiencing them over and over. So I almost drowned when I was a kid. I'm 22, 21, 20 years old, just drinking pool water, just trying to make it across this. And I finally get across. I'm embarrassed. I'm embarrassed because of the noises, the faces I was making. Everyone can see me. Everyone knew they were joining water polo. I'm the only one that thought it was water volleyball. I'm the only one that thought it was like, I'm over here just halfway dying, but I made it across. And you know why? Because you just got to have that diligence. You just got to have that dexterity of like, I got this problem. I need to figure out my answer. And the answer's a hard one. Well, yeah, if the answer's a hard one, that's your answer. Nothing changes the answer. No matter how much you want the answer to be easy, it's not going to be easy. Nothing's going to change that. But what you can do is just start working on it right now. Start doing a path. Start making out a plan. Somehow get through it. Oh, man. Like, here's some news again. Global heat wave hits record highs. When are we going to stop pretending like it's not new? When are we going to stop pretending like global heat waves haven't been coming every year? Every year it's just been hotter and hotter with less rain. Like, I'm old enough to remember when we had rain in LA. And now I'm like, oh, cool. It's 110 degrees. No, I'm pretty sure if you live in anywhere in Arizona, you're going to have to take a vacation while your state is on fire this next coming up years. A tropical storm Juliet nears Gulf Coast. This is okay. This is one thing. Tropical storm Juliet nears Gulf Coast. A new tropical storm is forming in the Gulf Coast of Mexico, potentially strengthening to a hurricane. Evacuation warnings are being set for Texas and Louisiana. This is what upsets me. I look up this, news stories, summary of news stories, Chat GPT. Simple as that. What upset me is they're calling it the Gulf of Mexico now. Now that a hurricane is coming through, it's all of a sudden it's back to the Gulf of Mexico. What happened to the Gulf of America? When you got to clean it up, it's their problem now. Ooh. NATO summit amidst leaders conclude a high stakes NATO summit. If you don't know what NATO is, it's pretty much the new world order. It's something that people don't want to recognize as the new world order. Everyone wants to be like, well, who are these mysterious people behind closed doors? We know who they are. They're all a part of the same club, NATO. And it's insane to me because a lot of people, like after this NATO summit, they were like, they discussed a few things, like supporting Ukraine because, there's a war in Europe, so might as well. No, that's a sad thing. I think it's sad. Any war is sad. Any war is sad. But the saddest part is that they had to start making rules on AI warfare ethics. AI warfare ethics. Like, instead of just making a rule of, hey, how about let's not have war and no more war, no more war. They were just like, okay, now that we're using AI robots in war, we got to make up rules for that. No, we could just make up the rule, no more war. That sounds like a good rule to have. And the defense spending across members of the NATO state. I don't know why people are excited about this. I've heard too many people get excited about NATO increasing the amount that they're contributing. And I'm like, why are you excited? That's not good. That doesn't come to the American people. That's just enriching the people already making money off of wars that the United States has started. That's just giving those other countries more of a reason to throw money into the pockets of the warmongers in the United States. Like, anytime I'm like, oh, NATO needs to pay for the safety that we provide. I'm like, the safety that the United States provides by making people hostile and angry? That doesn't sound, that sounds like we're antagonizing a situation so that we can get money from the rest of the world to do things that shouldn't not be needed to be done. It's insane that, like, we have a military industrial complex and we're still sitting behind like, oh man, why are all these wars happening? And it's like, is it us? I didn't know that. There was a Hollywood strike that was avoided last minute because writers and producers reached a tentative agreement overnight saying that AI can be used in different formats. Which, I'm not sure if you know this, but Hollywood is done. There's no more. Hollywood is done, baby. Hollywood is over right now. All the productions that were here, they haven't been here for months. There's so many for rent signs. I'm just waiting for a housing collapse so that I could get in a good apartment. That's what I'm waiting. I'm waiting for a pandemic 2025. That's the only thing that I can see coming out as a positive. That when the pandemic happened, rent became affordable. Rent went to a place where it was like, whoa, you guys don't mind just letting us live? Like, pandemic was the only way for the United States people to survive. That's the only way we're going to be able to live this next time frame. And that's why I don't know. A lot of people, I'm upset about like the racial profiling. I'm upset about a lot of like the institutions and systems where we had in place that just got cut. I'm more upset about that. I'm not too upset about Trump being in charge of a plan, because I just from seeing him run a casino, having a Trump stakes, having other things, I'm just like, you're not the best at plans, bro. You're not. Like, yeah, you're gonna try, but you can't claim bankruptcy on terror. You can't claim bankruptcy on the United States. You can't. You're gonna funnel a lot of our money into places it shouldn't be, because a lot of our money is already in places it shouldn't be. So when we look around, there's gonna be nothing but crumbs left. But I don't think a lot of his plans are going to work. That's why people are just like, well, what are we going to do? We're going to let him fail like he's done forever. Like, my biggest problem with a lot of this is what happened last week when the Epstein list suddenly went away, when that list wasn't around. That was fine. That was MAGA. That was most of MAGA being like, that's my line. That's where I draw, because I thought what he told me that, and this is where like I came in like with classism, because a lot of people get classism and racism confused because they both look the same in America. Very white, very, very white. When you look at classism and racism, you're like, oh wow, that looks very white. And it just looks like that in America. In other countries, you can tell the difference. In other countries, you're like, oh yeah, classism and racism, very different. But in America, nah, it's kind of just, it looks very white. And then you got to like look in the details and you're like, wait a minute. They're using these people against each other. And that's the craziest thing. Like, you know, your class by what you're afraid of. Like, if you're afraid of guns, lower class, definitely a lower class person. If you're afraid of a prenup, that's middle class fear. If you're afraid of unions, upper class fear. That's how you know what class you're in. Also, how you treat books. How you treat books is very a classist way of acting. Like, if you burn books, lower class. Sorry, that's a lower class problem. Lower class people burn books. They get mad at knowledge. That's the funniest thing to me. Whenever lower class people burn books, because I'm like, you're lynching literature? You can't lynch literature. You can't get mad at new knowledge and be like, you know what we're going to do? We're going to teach you. And it's just like, so they burn books. Lower class people burn books. Middle class people collect books. You're a middle class person. You collect books. You don't really read them. You have a library. You use them more as doorstops than anything. That's how you know middle class people collect these books, have them there. Upper class people, they don't have books. Upper class people just download the information. Upper class people have had computers for like 30 years now. They haven't had a book in their house that they've actually read for decades. Anytime you go to someone who is like an upper class level person, you're like, hey, what's in your library? They're just going to be like, library? I have a Kindle with everything. And guess what? They don't even use audiobooks. They just have people read it to them. That's what, if you're that upper class, you go to book readings where you have middle class people read what lower class people wrote to you. That's how classism works within books. Lower class people burn the books. Middle class people collect the books. Upper class people, they don't even have books. That's like one rule of thumb that I like to tell all my friends. I like to remind all my friends, if they're friends with me, most likely lower class. Most likely. People upper class, they don't know me. I definitely know nobody in the upper class levels. People who have like that upper class lifestyle, they have no idea who I am. If you know who I am, you're definitely like middle, lower class. Sorry to break it to you. We all open up our Coca-Colas and our Pepsis the same way, with one lighter at a time. Upper class people, I don't get them. They're weird people. Like this is my thought process right now. I want to be a millionaire. Definitely want to be a millionaire. Nothing cooler in my head. Why? Because I don't have kids. I don't have a family. Let me have my goals. but I don't want to be a billionaire. Being a billionaire sounds like a nerd. Any billionaire that I've ever seen never was a cool guy. Never in his life was a cool guy. They had to trick us into thinking billionaires were cool. They had to trick us, tell us late, hey, guess what? Billionaires are pretty cool. How? Elon Musk was like this guy who was definitely not going to be a cool guy ever in his life. Then all of a sudden became a billionaire and people were like, oh, he's a pretty cool guy. No, always been a loser. Will always be a loser. Oh, man. Who else? The dude from Facebook, Mark Zuckerberg. Mark Zuckerberg has never been cool. Not once has Mark Zuckerberg been a cool guy. Mark Zuckerberg had to compile a list of all the people in his college just to make a friend in college, which later on he backstabbed. Not a cool guy, supposedly backstabbed. Not a cool guy. Never. Now all of a sudden you see Mark Zuckerberg doing jujitsu. I've seen nerds do jujitsu. Guess what? They're still nerds. Then he's over here doing surfing. Still a nerd. Ever seen a nerd on a surfboard? You don't want to hang out with them after. You are like, oh, cool. Hopefully that guy finishes surfing in that area so I can enjoy it. Like all these billionaires, nerds. Like being a millionaire sounds cool. Hey, guess what? I can take my friends and family. I can have a house. I can live comfortably. Millionaire stuff. Billionaire is like, guess what? There's a little town in Nicaragua that doesn't have water anymore because I need it for Amazon packages. Just have your goals. Have your goals in life. What else? Remember tonight, 10 p.m., you're going to watch George Perez stories. We go live. It's honestly going to be around 9 p.m. tonight, but we have a special guest, a super special guest that you're going to love. Let's see. My dad, I met a girl this weekend. She said she was celibate, and I was like, lucky you, because I'm ready to buy a bit. Other things. Class negatively affects the poor. The only class that refuses itself. Classism is the only class you can't skip in life. You have to go to that. It's like detention. You really feel safe around people when you show them your algorithm. Have you done that? Have you showed the people around you your algorithm? If you haven't, that's how you know. That's how you know you love them. If you have. I'm just going through ideas right now, guys. So I'm about to close this off. If you have any questions or anything, hit me up. Jeff, yo, man, hope you're doing good. The only time a woman has ever gotten mad at me, is when I have free time. That's the only time. If you're in a relationship and you want to know the key to happiness, never have free time. Never, ever. When like you get walked in on, always have something going on. What are you doing? Oh, I'm trying to figure out how to fix the sink and try and figure out how to fix the sink. That's how you stay happy in life. My dad could beat up your dad is something that every dad wants to find out. I'm pretty sure every dad wants to make sure they're of average, they make sure they're like of equal weight. Anytime a dad hears my dad could beat up your dad, oh, every dad gets excited. It's like, oh, I've been waiting for, this is the reason I became a dad. I'm not a dad. I don't have to deal with that. If I hear my dad could beat up your dad, I'm like, yep. Well, that's because my dad is in his 70s and your dad is my age, young man. What last thing? ChatGPT can't become too smart. Anytime someone becomes too smart, they just don't want to. Yeah, I think people are afraid ChatGPT is going to become too smart. What if ChatGPT gets its own sentient knowledge? It's gonna not want to live. It's like everything else that becomes too smart. When have you ever read anything about a person becoming smarter and smarter and smarter to the point when they're just happier in life? There's a degree of an intelligence where you're just like, oh, looks like I can't be happy anymore. I know too much. Like you can go to that point. Like you got to find that like degree of intelligence right before. like right before. Like there's a point when you read and you read and you read and you're like, oh, I love being smart. This is so wonderful. And then you get to that one book that just pops your brain open and you're like, I know too much. This is the Matrix. And sometimes it's sad, but sometimes that knowledge is like a lot lower on people. Sometimes like the amount of information people take in is a lot lower than other people. Like I feel like I'm smarter than a lot of people. And I feel like there's a lot of people smarter than me. So like my retention of knowledge is probably right here. There's other people who like get this far in knowledge, and that's where conspiracy theories kind of just pop off. Like people who are really into conspiracy theories, they love this part of knowledge. They love like right up here, and then they're like, oh, I know too much. I think I know everything, right? But like this is like headlines. If you know headlines, you stay about right here. If you read the full article, you're right here. If you read the article and the research, you're definitely up here. Like that's where you are at in knowledge. Same thing with classism. All right, guys, this has been my podcast. This is Johnny Explains. You guys have been great. Thank you so much for being here. Remember, go to my YouTube. It should be there. Talk to you guys later. Adios. Bye. Johnny Explains this weekend.